Saad Zagh-loul, the leader of the Egyptian Revolution of 1919. Saad Zagh-loul was born in 1860 in a small village called Ibiana in the governorate of Al-Gharbiyya, Lower Egypt. In his early childhood, he joined a Quran school where he memorized the Quran and got some basic knowledge in Arabic and arithmetic. He then joined the famous religious institution of Al-Azhar, where he studied Arabic and Islamic disciplines. During his study in Al-Azhar, he distinguished himself in the art of debate and oratory. Having completed his study, he worked as a journalist in the official gazette Al-Waqa'i' Al-Misriya and began to write important articles on such topics as democracy, social justice, despotism, and foreign rule in Egypt. Not long after his graduation, he worked as a judge in Giza and was reputed for his strict application of justice. During the uprising of Arabi, Zagh-loul sided with this national movement, and for this reason he was dismissed from his job and sentenced to 7 months imprisonment. After his release, he worked as a barrister. It is worthy of note that this profession at that time was open to anyone if he proved to be qualified for it. Zagh-loul afterwards was appointed as a deputy judge in the Court of Appeal, a period during which he got a degree in law and learned French. Zagh-loul's image as a sincere nationalist became even more forceful when he was entrusted with the Ministry of Education in 1906. One of the most important developments during his management of this ministry was his decision to make Arabic rather than English the basic medium of teaching in primary and secondary schools. Needless to say that this decision had its unmistakable cultural and political dimensions. After accomplishing his heavy task as Minister of Education, Zagh-loul was entrusted with another very important ministry, namely that of justice. During his career as Minister of Justice, he indeed did his utmost to safeguard the strict application of law. Zagh-loul's national spirit, however, had the chance to express itself more emphatically when he was elected as Member of Parliament. During his term in this National Assembly, he proved to be the faithful mouthpiece of the Egyptian people and the greatest defender of their legal rights. It should be remarked here that World War I, which broke out in 1914 and ended in 1918, was a turning point in the long history of Zaghlul's national struggle. On the 18th of December 1914, Britain declared that Egypt became a British protectorate. This declaration, together with the enforcement of martial law and the harsh treatment of the Egyptian peasants and laborers on the part of the British, stiffened Egyptian opposition to British rule. At the end of the war, a delegation, wafd, consisting of Saad Zagh-loul, Ali Sha'rawi, and Abdelaziz Fahmy, demanded from the British High Commissioner complete independence. Because of his enormous popularity, Zaghlul was able to mobilize mass support throughout the country. Tension escalated, and eventually the British military authorities arrested Zaghlul and his colleagues, and on 9 March 1919 deported them to Malta. This rash act on the part of the British was the direct cause behind the eruption of the nationwide revolution of 1919. All classes and creeds participated in this revolution. Copts demonstrated alongside Muslims. Theological students demonstrated alongside students from the secular schools. Women, albeit only from the upper classes, demonstrated alongside men. What specially unnerved the British was the involvement of the peasantry, the placid masses on whose inertia they had counted. As a result, the British were forced to release Zaghlul and his colleagues on the 7th of April 1919. But their release enabled them to resume their national struggle with greater enthusiasm. Hence, the British had no option but to abolish the protectorate. In 1922, Egypt emerged as a semi-independent state under the British tutelage. The following year witnessed the inception of the Egyptian constitution. This was followed by a general election in which the Wafd party got the majority. So Saad held the office of the Prime Minister in the new cabinet early in 1924. Later on, in the same year, he abandoned this office and became the Speaker of the Parliament. Saad Zaghlul died in 1927 after he had instilled a new spirit in the body of the Egyptian nation. He was succeeded in the leadership of the Wafd party by the famous nationalist Mustafa al-Nahas. والسلام عليكم.